guys? It's Jake from Team Insanity here. I am just absolutely amazed by the amount of people that have been begging for this stupid review. This review has like been the biggest, the most asked for review on the channel. Something tells me it's because of the price point of the gun. Something just tells me because a lot of people just like the gun in general. So we're gonna do the Smart Parts Shocker review. Even on the Planet Eclipse CS1 review, I mean, people are just like, hey, when's that Shocker review coming out? Who cares about the CS1? When's that Shocker review coming out? So here it is. So we have a lot of reviews lined up, but those are all getting put on the back plate for this one. So what's really, really cool about this gun is the price point that it comes in at, right at the $800 price range. There really hasn't been any other guns out there that have come in on the $800 price range since I've really started playing paintball about 8-9 years ago. Really, when I first started 8-9-ish years ago, there was about the Vanguard Creed. I don't remember what the other Vanguard gun was, but there was really just sort of like the Vanguard Creed. There was like an alien gun and some other random guns out there, but it wasn't really worth it. It was really cool to have guns in the $800 price point, because there's some people that have money more than $500, but they don't want to shell out $1,500, but they want that nice tournament level marker. Okay, this gun is the most used gun on Team Insanity minus the Lux. So we counted up the amount of Luxes that was used that everyone owned. We had about 7 to 8-ish Luxes. Doug has 2, DJ had 2, Travis had 1, Jacob has 1, and then John also had 1. So I don't know the math on that, but it was like it was a lot. That was the most guns that was the most bought gun that we've ever had until now. Now everyone has a Shocker. I have a Shocker. I think Travis had a Shocker at one point. Tony has a Shocker. Everyone's shooting a Shocker right now. John also has a Shocker. He got rid of one gun for a Shocker, so he's not shooting his Lux anymore. So, which is really, really cool. So, and we're playing tournaments with an $800 gun, which is another really cool thing, which for me, that's just awesome, and I hope a lot of gun companies see that and start making more guns in that price point, because the only other gun that's really out there is the Dangerous Power, whatever FX thing, that I don't know, whatever Dangerous Power put out, but there's some other random gun that's out there by DP that no one really cares about because it's Dangerous Power. So with that being said, with basically Lux designing, with DLX basically designing this gun, because that's sort of who designed it, this gun has a lot of really, really cool features. Okay, it has a cool disconnect of the bolt. It has an amazing trigger. It has an OLED board with the NXL setting, which is basically a Millennium setting, but still really cool. Nice on-off ASA. Nice clamping feed neck. Basically everything that you would expect out of an $800 gun. Comes with great packaging. Go watch the unboxing video. Made an unboxing video of it. But first things first is that, like, this gun is basically cheating with how light it is. Okay, there is no other gun out there. Minus, when I had my Dangerous Power G4, I know that gun was really effing light because there's nothing to it. There literally is nothing to it. But again, that gun was in a completely different price point and wasn't that amazing of a marker. This, on the other hand, is so... Jacob, when he got it, he's like, I feel like it's too thin. Like, is there such a thing as a gun being too thin, like too small? He's like, that, it's so small. He's like, it's so light. It's almost too light. Okay? That was a lot of people's reaction when it first came out. Everyone's like, damn, this thing is so light and so small. And at first I was really skeptical, because when you look at the front grip, you're just kind of like, oh, that looks like shit. It doesn't look like it's going to be that comfortable. But when you get used to it, it's actually really not that bad. Tony is a bigger guy that plays with us in tournaments and that kind of stuff. You don't really see him in YouTube videos. So is John. He has a channel, the PB Fit. He also has videos of him using the Shocker. But those are two bigger guys. They're not small guys. I'm a pretty small guy. People always, come up to me in person and are like, dude, you're really small. I'm like, yeah, I always say that in videos, but no one listens to me. But I'm a pretty small guy. So is Jacob. Nick is just a little bit taller than us. And he's pretty fat, but anyways,
for the same
so this gun is being used by big guys and small guys. Travis, he's a bigger kid, and his hands are growing. He's gonna have hands like DJ. So that kid, he can still go out and use a Shocker, which is pretty awesome. So this gun is not too small for the bigger people, okay? Because we have bigger guys on our team using this gun, and they still say it's really comfortable, and for what you get, you can't beat it for the price, which is so true, especially they're coming in about $500 to $600 used, which if you buy it on the used market, I mean, it's just fantastic. But the ergonomics on it is just absolutely amazing. The only thing is, like, I always gripe about it. I like rubberized grips on the front, because when you start rubbing and snap shooting up against bunkers, especially if you're reloading with one hand and you have to get tucked in for a second and paint gets rubbed up against here, it gets really slick, so that's why you tape it up. And it is actually really nice with tape because it gives you something to really hold on to and thickens it up a little bit, because that front grip, this front is, it's like I said, it's almost too thin. It's like, it's scary how thin it is. And it's super, super, super light. HK Army also came out with the cool grip on it, which is, I mean, it's cool, and it adds beef to it. So if you do have bigger hands and you do want a rubberized grip, it is really awesome. Exalt also came out with one. I know people are going to ask what's the difference between the HK shocker and this shocker. Absolutely nothing, minus the milling. John actually has the HK shocker. No difference. It's just ag. I mean, you get to snort cocaine off of it. It has, you know, lines in it, so you can put your cocaine in there and snort it really easy, which is kind of cool. So if you're into that, H. But just overall, this gun is super, super light. It comes with an awesome barrel. It comes with a freak ready inserted barrel, and it comes with a freak insert. So if you're one that has freak inserts and all that, you're ready to go. And it comes with a wickedly ported barrel. It's nice, it's quiet, and it shoots super, super smooth. One of the other really cool things about this gun that a lot of other gun companies, I hope they sort of go to, is that it has an adjustable solenoid, okay? When I say that lightly, an adjustable solenoid, but you can adjust the airflow through your solenoid. So you can basically turn it off, or you can turn it all the way up. So if you're shooting higher rates of fire, you're gonna need a lot more air going through your solenoid because you're cycling a lot faster. You need more air to hurry up and get that bolt back. You're not gonna be as efficient, and it's not gonna be as smooth, but it's still, if you're gonna be shooting super high rates of speed, like I play on uncapped semi sometimes. There's days where I go out and I wanna shoot 25 balls a second at someone. That's just me. It's fun. And then there's days where I'm out playing a tournament at 10.2 or 10.5 balls a second, and you don't need all that air going through. One of the things with the Vanquishes and the Luxes and everything else, the reason why they're so smooth is because the solenoid, it really slows everything down. The dwells are really low. The pressures and everything are really, really super, super low. It uses a lot of air to cushion everything. But the thing is, if you want to go shoot higher rates of fire, you can't do it. Your solenoid just can't keep up, and your bolt can't keep up, and you're just going to shred O-rings, and it's just, it's not going to, you're going to chop paintballs. It's not going to be fun, and just don't even try it. But you can do that on this gun, which I think is a really, really, really cool feature. So if I want to go out and shoot uncapped semi, I can turn the solenoid up all the way so I can get the most maximum amount of air that I possibly need to run at that high rates of fire. Or if I know I'm going to be playing a tournament or I want a really smooth shot, I can turn this sucker down. How I did is I turned it all the way off, sort of like an LPR. I turned it on just a little bit, and then I did a quarter of a turn. If I let it so there was just enough air in there, just so the solenoid would actually, you know, so everything would cycle, I found that there wasn't enough air pressure, and it was just a little inconsistent. So I did that little quarter turn, and it was still super, super smooth, and it shot amazing. Like I said, the board is awesome. Everything is just really, really cool. And when I go to take this gun apart, just sort of watch the maintenance video, because there's a lot of little things that they did on the board and in here that just sort of really surprised me for gun techs and that kind of stuff, and to save you money if your board fries and that kind of stuff. There's just a lot of really cool little things that I just really, really enjoy that they really jam-packed into here. So you're really getting your money's worth, which it's such a great gun for the money. So what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna pull the camera in, we're gonna do the maintenance video real quick, and then we're gonna pull out and do the conclusion. Alright, so first thing that I like about the shocker is the detents and the eye covers, okay? The detent is actually integrated into the eye cover. And what's really, really cool is that if you remember with the Vanquish 1.5s, or basically a lot of other guns have gone to the rubber detent system for companies to save money, not with the shocker, okay? This is not rubberized, okay? This is on its own spring, so when the bolt goes across it, it's going to bend back into the eye cover, okay, or the detent plate, whatever you want to call it. So here's your bolt. It's going to go across and hit that, and it's going to fold in. So say you leave your bolt forward, sort of like how the Vanquishes were and that kind of stuff. If you leave your bolt forward, it's on a spring system, so it's just going to pop back up either way. It's not on a rubberized system. So this is not going to wear down just like any other rubberized eye system or detent system, which is really, really cool. And I like how it's integrated actually right into the detent, or right into the eye cover or detent plate, whatever you want to call it. That way, when you're actually disassembling your gun, you have no chance of actually losing a piece of your detent or something like that. Because if you lose this, you're basically losing your entire detent plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on, and we're going to go and start taking apart the rest of the gun. Now, what's really cool is that I enjoy about the Shocker is just the little things that they really did with this gun, okay? There's a lot of little things, especially for someone that likes to take their gun apart and gun techs and stuff. It really makes it really, really cool. I actually already took apart all the grip screws, so you don't have to watch me do that. So, for an $800 gun that it comes in at, there's some really, really cool features. First thing, when you're ever taking apart your gun, I'm going to turn the board off. You want to take your battery and you want to unplug it, because that's an easy way to rip your wire harness. So let me take that off. Another really cool quick tip while I'm out here: use your nice Smart Parts case. Use that as your screw holder. I see a lot of people just like placing screws all over the place. Just place it in your box. Okay, the box is nice and carved out for the Shocker itself. Now, with a lot of boards these days, one of the things is everything is on an Allen key system. Okay, basically everything that you take apart on the gun is all on an Allen key. Okay. Except on a lot of guns, the boards. A lot of people, a lot of gun companies, just a lot of manufacturers have put in like Phillips head little screws to hold in the boards. Well, Smart Parts, or not, I'm going to keep on saying Smart Parts, but RSX did not do that. So basically the people who designed the locks, I should say. So let me go in. As you can see, so if you want to take out your board, or if you're having issues with your board, this is all on Allen keys, okay? You don't have to get a separate screwdriver or like those small miniature, like the screws were so hard to get at to change the boards and everything, which you really don't need to do nowadays, because a lot of people aren't, I mean, the aftermarket board is just, the aftermarket board is just, it's gone. There's no one really making aftermarket boards anymore, just because it's not needed anymore. Everyone's coming, all the guns are coming stock with amazing boards. So this isn't really that big of a deal, but to me, I really enjoy it because it's really, really nice that they put something like this in there, and I'm going to show you why when I actually get to it. One of the other cool things is, as you're looking at this frame, as I'm sitting here looking at it, this frame, you can see all the little holes in it, okay? So you can see that it's milled out right here, okay? That's to make the frame as light as it possibly can, and without it actually bending like a plain Eclipse frame. Oh, did I say that out loud? But like any other frame, like a plain Eclipse frame and stuff like that have tolerance issues, they still milled this out, just because it's just wasted material. You don't really need it. So I'm gonna put that one right there. But like I said, I like to put the screws in the box so I don't lose them. This particular one isn't mine. This one's actually Jacob's. But there's actually 2 more screws on the back. These are little shorty screws, and as you can see, they're still milling throughout the entire grip, grip frame, which is really, really cool. These screws come out really quick because they're a lot smaller. So I'm going to undo this last one, and now you're going to see is that the board is just sort of free flowing wherever it wants to go. Okay. Now I'm not really going to take the board out completely, but I can push this entire board out, which is really, really cool. So I can pull it out just like that. And the reason why I wanted to show you this is because of the back plate and because of the OLED display. Here is your screen, okay? Everything comes apart in one. So if your Shockers like mine And what's also really cool is that this is a plastic plate, this is the screen, okay? It's not an entire, some gun manufacturers, I'm not going to name any names, just put the screen, the entire screen exposed to the outside with a little plastic layer over the top. That's all into one. So if you break your board, or if you break the LCD or the OLED screen, you basically have to buy a whole brand new board. Not with the shocker. They have this little cool plastic covering over top of it. So if you scratch this, if you get at this and you tear it up or whatever you gotta do, or it gets shot and it gets busted, it's not gonna bust your board. Plus, you don't have to buy an entire new board, and look at how easy that was for me to change it. It's all on Allen keys. It was just really, really easy. So, and how you put it back in is basically the same exact way that you pull it out. And then you slide it back in. You put your board back in first. Kind of got to be careful with it, but you put your board back in first. And how it lines up is that there's just these little connectors right here, and it just slides into the, it's actually, you can feel it push into the board. So there's all these little metal connectors that actually fly right into the board. But even if your screen gets fried or something like that, you don't have to buy an entire new board. All you need to do is message the gun tech or whoever is in your local area, or just go straight to the manufacturer and say, hey, I just need a new screen. So you don't have to buy a brand new $200 board. All you need is just the extra screen or this little plate covering, depending upon what happened to what you were doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly piece this together. You're probably going to see a cut, and what we're going to do is then I'm going to start taking apart the actual gun itself and the bolt and everything. Another cool thing is that it's milled out right here. It's not milled out on this side because this is where your actual air tube is at. It comes through in here. But so they milled it out right in here too, so you can still save weight. So that is why this gun is so light. And when you actually take this frame off of the gun, this thing is so unbelievably light. It's like playing with a little child's toy. I mean, it feels like nothing in your hand when you actually separate the two body. So let me place this board back together, and you basically just put all of the Allen keys, or not the Allen keys, but all the screws back in, and you slide this back into the actual screen, just as so. And I like to do the back ones first, and then you slowly piece it back together, and then we're gonna do the bolt. Alright, so to get the bolt out, there's a little button on the back. You press it, you pull it out. Believe me, when you're playing, you'd have to be pretty fucking retarded to hit that button. I mean, you'd have to actually do it on purpose. I mean, you're just not going to do that during the, while you're playing. It's just not gonna happen. So don't even think about it. Don't even ask that question, because it's not gonna happen. Don't do it. If you do it when it's aired up, because believe me, I did it just for shits and giggles, all that's gonna happen is you're gonna blow off this front little bumper thing. It's not even a full O-ring, it's too big to be an O-ring. I believe it's a bumper. So first things first, you wanna wipe off all your old lube. I see a lot of people just put lube on top of old lube. Normally I use a microfiber, or an old towel. We're on a tight budget here at Team Insanity, so we have to use paper towel, unfortunately, and we're outside. So, as you can see, I'm sort of limited with what I got. So, unscrews right here, you pull this sucker out, you pull the bolt through, or you push it through, and again, you want to wipe everything down, because you want to get all the dirt. The whole reason of cleaning is to get all the dirt and gunk and crap off of the bolt. So you don't want to just put lube on top of lube. If you have if you have lots of detailed questions about how to lube your gun and everything, I sort of made a general basic gun video on how to tech your gun and everything. There's an inner O-ring in there. What I like to do is take my finger, push the towel or whatever you're using through, and apply pressure down and spin, so sit and spin as Nick would say, and just get all that dirt out of there, because you can see originally there was a lot of dirt and everything and a lot of crap. So just sit and spin on that bolt, get all this gunk off. Again, there's gunk and everything inside of here, so you want to make sure that all of this is clean. Hey, shut the fuck up, I'm recording.
Hey, That penguin wants to be in the shop.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Alright.
Recording with assholes 101. So I'm just cleaning everything out, all that gunk and everything that Jacob left on his gun, because Jacob doesn't maintenance his stuff. So this is probably going to be, until the next shocker video or something, this is probably going to be the only time that it's going to get maintenance until it breaks. Lay that down. Just going to take a look at all the O-rings. Everything looks fresh. Nothing looks damaged. There was no leaks or anything before, so everything should be good. There's no old lube. You take some new fresh lube of your choice. Specifically, Dow 33 is going to be some of the best lube to use on this gun. But Dow 33, sleek, monkey poo, that kind of stuff. I want to really use a thick grease on this. So we're going to use some Dow 33 or the Smart Parts grease, anything really. Just don't use some like Tech Gun Salve or Hater Marmalade, that kind of stuff. I wouldn't even use Hater Sauce on this. Hater Sauce is nice, but you don't need it on this kind of gun. Hater Sauce is almost like a Dow 55 and 33 combined. It's nice and sleek, but it swells the O-rings just a wee bit, so guns with tolerance issues like a Dangerous Power, and guns that have bolt stick issues, it does really good with that. But this gun doesn't have any bolt stick issues. If you're having bolt stick issues, by all means go right ahead. I'm just lubing the O-rings. Don't forget there's an inner O-ring in there, and you sit and spin on that O-ring just like the same way that you cleaned it out. I like to do the outside last, even though I did that outside first, but I want to make sure that these O-rings are nice and moist with lube. Want to rub it the right way just so it gets nice and wet and moist and lubed up. What I'm doing with my fingers was not, you know, meant to be sexual in any manner. Push that through. I like to re-lube that front O-ring just because a lot of it gets taken off when you're pushing it through. I like to work the lube in just a little bit. That's just because that's me and I'm picky. If you're Jacob, again, you probably wouldn't do this. So as you can see, this gun is very, very easy to maintenance. Doesn't take a rocket scientist. A lot of guns nowadays just really aren't. You're not dealing with, you know, autocockers are a whole different world. Automags are a whole different world. These guns are, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to maintenance this gun. Wipe off your dirty, greasy hands. Put your Dow 33 away. Gun maintenance. So that's it for the maintenance. Now we're gonna pull it out and do the conclusion. Alright, so in conclusion of this video, I have to say is that I hope a lot of gun manufacturers go back to making $800 guns, because there's a market for it. As you can see, this has been one of the most bought and paid for guns that I really know. I know so many people that buy this shotgun. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm not gonna lie. There's some people that are like, wow, this gun, I just don't like the shot quality of it, or I don't like this, I don't like. There's a few nitpicky things, but I gotta say, I've seen a lot more people that actually like the gun than people that actually don't like the gun. So, and like I said, there's just so many features that are jam-packed in this. It's smooth as hell for an $800 gun. It is so light. It gives you such an advantage. If you put a Pinocchio speed on this and a Ninja SL68 tank, you have one of the lightest setups in the entire game. And being light is really, really big now in paintball, because you have to be faster with, you know, with all these athletes coming into the game. I mean, you know, you have Fedorov out there that can outsnap anyone because he's so damn fast. And you have people that can run to corners in just a couple seconds. I mean, people are getting, we are really, really athletic now in paintball. So I have to say, being able to have a gun like this to up your game and being able to snap really, really quick, having a light gun to run through the woods with, okay? This is a great scenario gun, so you're not sweating your ass off. It is just it is something that is really, really cool, and I hope a lot of gun companies Make a cool gun like this. Make a gun that is really, really light. Make a gun with all the features that are just jam-packed, and make $800 guns, because there's obviously a market for that. So I hope Planet Eclipse and Dye and just all the big companies and MacDev and all them, I just hope a lot of those companies come out and actually start making $800 guns and start competing, because there's a big market for it, and there's a lot of people that are actually buying these guns because it just how nice they are. So buy it. That's my conclusion. It's a really fun gun to use. Buy it, have fun, shoot it. If you don't like it, sell it, because there's a lot. They hold their value on the used market. They're selling $500-600 bucks, which is pretty good for an $800 gun, because you can buy a Vanquish 2.0 at $1,500 and they're only selling for $500 on the used market. So buy it. That's my conclusion. It's a great gun. So thanks for watching. Thank you for waiting for the review. So many people wanted to see this review. So that's it. I love the gun. I can't complain about it. There's really nothing bad about this gun. So deuces.
Look at that poop.